He stood near the lake early in the morning. The air was cold. The water was still. No sound. No people. No wind. This lake was old. Very old. For many years, no one cared about it. The water was dirty before. The land was broken. Trees were wild and out of control. But now, it looked different. The water was clear. The land was clean. Birds were flying again. This lake was his. He bought it after many people said no. They said it was a bad idea. They said the lake was useless. They said trouble would come with it. But he did not listen. He wanted peace. He wanted quiet. He wanted a place far from noise. Standing there, he felt proud. He fixed this place with his own hands. Day by day, piece by piece. That morning felt special. He walked near the water and looked at his reflection. The lake was calm, like it was sleeping. He smiled and took a deep breath. Then something strange happened. Far away, he heard a sound. At first, it was very soft, like a low hum. He stopped walking. He listened carefully. The sound became louder. Engines. More than one. He turned his head toward the old dirt road near the lake. No one used that road anymore. But today, something was coming. Black cars appeared from the trees. One, then two, then three. They stopped near the lake. The engines went silent. The peaceful morning was gone. He felt something heavy in his chest. His smile slowly disappeared. Doors opened. Men and women stepped out. They were wearing clean clothes. Very serious faces. No smiles. One man walked forward. He looked confident, almost cold. The man looked at the lake, then at him. "This place does not belong to you," the man said. The words hit hard. He was shocked. "What?" he asked. The man pulled out papers from a folder. Old papers. Maps. Printed rules. "We are from the HOA," the man said. "This lake is community property." He could not believe it. HOA? No one came here before. No signs. No letters. Nothing. He bought this land legally. He paid for it. He checked everything. "I own this lake," he said. "I have papers too." The man did not look worried. He smiled a small smile. "You should not have fixed it," the man said calmly. "Now everyone wants it back." Those words felt strange. Why now? For years, the lake was ignored. No one cared when it was dirty. No one came when it was broken. But now, after all the work, now they showed up. Another woman stepped forward. "You made changes without permission," she said. "You owe fines." Fines. His heart started beating fast. They talked about rules. They talked about claims. They talked like the lake was already theirs. He looked around. The birds flew away. The water moved slightly. The lake felt scared. So did he. The man from the HOA pointed at the land. "You have 14 days, he said. "After that, this place will not be yours anymore." 14 days. The cars turned on again. Engines roared. They left as fast as they came. Dust filled the air. He stood there alone. The lake was silent again. But this silence felt different. It was not peaceful. It was heavy. He looked at the water and whispered, "I will not give up." But deep inside, fear was growing. What did they really want? Why did they come now? And how could something he legally owned be taken away? The calm lake was hiding a storm. And this was only the beginning. Before the lake became part of his life, his days were very different. He lived in a busy city where noise never stopped. Cars moved all night. People shouted. Lights stayed on even when the sky was dark. Every morning, he woke up tired, even after sleep. His phone never stopped ringing. Work pressure followed him everywhere. He felt like he was running, but never reaching peace. He wanted silence. Not the empty kind, but the calm kind. A place where his mind could rest. That was when he found the old lake. The ad was small and simple. It showed one photo. The water looked dark. The land looked broken. Most people ignored it. Some laughed at it. But when he saw it, something inside him moved. It felt like the lake was calling him. He visited the place alone. No agent came with him. The road was rough and forgotten. Tall grass covered the path. When he reached the lake, the smell of old water filled the air. Trash floated near the edge. The land looked tired, like it had been hurt for a long time. Still, he stood there for a long time. He imagined clean water. He imagined birds returning. He imagined quiet mornings. He imagined himself sitting near the lake with no phone in his hand. No noise. No pressure. People warned him when he talked about buying it. Friends said it was a waste of money. Neighbors said the land had problems. One old man even told him, "This place brings trouble." But none of that stopped him. He checked the papers carefully. The land had an owner who wanted to sell. No one else claimed it. There were no signs, No rules posted, no warnings. Everything looked legal, clear, simple. When he signed the papers, his hands shook a little. It was fear, but also excitement. For the first time in years, he felt like he was choosing his own life. The first night near the lake was not easy. The place was too quiet. Every sound felt loud. Insects moved in the dark. The wind touched the trees. But even then, he slept better than he had in years. The next morning, he saw the lake under sunlight. It still looked broken, but there was beauty hidden inside it. He felt a promise in the air. A promise that this place could change, just like him. He knew it would be hard. He knew it would cost time, money, and energy. But he also knew one thing very clearly. No one else cared about this lake. If he did not save it, no one would. So he said yes. Yes to the broken land. Yes to the quiet mornings. Yes to the hard work ahead. Every day after that, he came back. Sometimes tired. Sometimes unsure. But always hopeful. He started cleaning small areas. He learned the shape of the land. He learned where the water moved and where it stopped. Slowly, the lake became more than land. It became his escape. His dream. His second chance. That is why the HOA words hurt so deeply. They were not just claiming land. They were trying to take away the life he chose. The life he built with patience and belief. And he was not ready to lose it. He started the work alone. No team. No help. Just him and the lake. Every morning he arrived early. The sun was still low. The air was cold. He wore old clothes and strong boots. The land was rough, and his hands soon felt the pain. The first problem was the trash. Bottles, broken wood, old metal, and plastic bags were everywhere. Some were stuck deep in the mud. He pulled them out one by one. His back hurt. His arms burned. But he did not stop. Each clean spot gave him hope. Then came the water. It was dark and thick. It smelled bad. He learned how to slowly drain parts of it. He removed dead plants and weeds. Some days, he stood in water up to his knees. Insects bit him. Mud pulled at his boots. Still, he kept going. Money became a problem. Tools were expensive. Fuel cost more than he expected. Some days, he looked at his bank account and felt scared. He asked himself if he made a mistake. But every time doubt came, he looked at the lake and continued. There were moments when he wanted to stop. His body felt weak. His hands had cuts. His clothes were always dirty. At night, pain stayed in his muscles. But he reminded himself why he came here. He did not come for comfort. He came for peace. Weeks passed. Small changes appeared. The water started to move again. Sunlight reached deeper. The bad smell slowly faded. He noticed fish shadows near the edge. One morning, a bird landed near the water. He smiled. It felt like a reward. The land around the lake needed care too. Broken fences were fixed. Wild plants were cut back. He planted grass in empty spots. He learned by doing. Many times, he failed. Many times, he had to start again. But each failure taught him something new. Sometimes he talked to the lake like a friend. He shared his fears and plans. He believed places could listen. He believed hard work left a mark. Slowly, the lake felt less like land and more like a partner in his journey. People drove past sometimes. They slowed down. They looked. No one stopped to help. Some shook their heads. Others laughed. He heard words like crazy and waste of time. He ignored them. This work was not for them. Rainy days were the hardest. Mud turned thick. Tools slipped from his hands. Cold water soaked his clothes. Still, he showed up. He believed that real change needed patience. The lake had waited many years. He could wait too. Months later, the place looked different. Clear water reflected the sky. Grass grew strong near the shore. Birds returned in groups. Frogs could be heard at night. The lake was alive again. He did not post photos. He did not tell stories online. He kept the success quiet. He believed true peace should stay simple. That choice would soon bring attention he never asked for. Neighbors slowly started talking. Cars stopped longer. People whispered names. Change always creates noise, even when the one changing stays silent and focused. One evening, he sat near the water as the sun went down. The surface turned gold. He felt peace in his chest. For the first time, he felt truly proud. Not because it was perfect, but because he did not give up. That night, he slept by the lake. The sounds were soft and natural. No cars. No shouting. Just water, wind, and life. He felt safe. The calm was real, but it would not last forever here. What he did not know was this. Someone had noticed the change. Someone who ignored the lake before now saw value in it. Quiet eyes were watching from far away. And soon, that attention would turn into a problem. The next week felt strange. The lake stayed calm, but his mind did not. Every sound made him alert. Every car passing the road made his heart beat faster. He knew the HOA would return. They never speak once and disappear. On the 7th morning, the sound came again. Engines. Slow. Controlled. This time, white trucks arrived, not black cars. They parked close to the water, like they owned the place already. Four people stepped out. The same man from before was there. He held a folder under his arm. His face was calm, almost proud. "We warned you," the man said. He stood firm and showed his papers. "This land is mine," he said. "Legally." The HOA man did not even look at them. He pointed toward the lake. "This lake was always meant for the community. You only made it better for us." Those words burned. Another man walked around, taking photos. A woman wrote notes on a board. They spoke quietly, like planning something. They talked about new paths, benches, and signs. They spoke about people swimming here, fishing here, noise returning, everything he escaped from. He felt anger rise. "You ignored this place for years," he said. "Now you want it because it is clean." The man smiled. "Value changes things." They handed him a notice. The paper felt heavy in his hand. It listed fines, violations, and deadlines. The words were cold and official. 14 days. That number returned like a shadow. "If you do not leave," the man said, "we will take legal action." He looked at the lake. The water moved softly. Birds watched from trees. This place trusted him. "I will fight this," he said. The HOA man shrugged. "You can try." The trucks left deep marks in the soil. Dust covered the grass he planted with care. It felt like disrespect, loud and clear. That day, he did not work. He sat by the water and thought. Fear mixed with anger. Doubt tried to enter his mind. He wondered if power always wins. That night, sleep did not come. He searched old records online. He read laws and rules he never cared about before. Words were confusing, but one thing was clear. He needed help. The next morning, he drove to town. He met a local lawyer, an old man with tired eyes. The lawyer listened quietly and asked for papers. "This is not simple," the lawyer said. "But it is not over." Those words gave him strength. Back at the lake, signs appeared overnight. HOA signs. Bright. Loud. They said community area. No trespassing during review. His chest tightened. Strangers arrived. They walked near the water. They talked loudly. They treated the place like it was already theirs. He felt like a guest on his own land. Still, he did not leave. Every sunset reminded him why he stayed. Every morning reminded him what he was fighting for. The HOA had money, influence, confidence. He had truth, patience, and the lake. The battle had started, and peace was no longer an option. Days passed under pressure. Inspectors returned with measuring tools. They checked water levels, land lines, and trees. They spoke in short, sharp sentences. Each visit felt like an attack. He stayed calm on the outside, but inside he was shaking. Letters arrived by mail. Warnings, fees, threats. Red stamps marked the pages. Each envelope stole a little more peace. Friends told him to give up. They said the fight was too big. He refused. He cleaned the lake every day, even with people watching. He believed effort was a message. If he stopped, they would win without court. One evening, he found a camera near the road. It pointed toward the lake. Someone was watching closely now. He removed it and placed it on a rock. The line was clearly drawn. The court day arrived quietly. No crowds, no noise, just a small room and serious faces. He wore simple clothes. His hands were steady, but his heart was not. This was not just about land anymore. This was about fairness. The HOA arrived together. Clean suits, confident steps. They looked prepared. They believed power was on their side. The judge entered and took a seat. The room went silent. The HOA lawyer spoke first. He talked about community rights. He showed maps with bold lines. He spoke with strong words and confidence. He said the lake was always meant for everyone. He said the owner had no right to change it. He listened without interrupting. Then it was his turn. His lawyer stood and placed old papers on the table. Very old papers. The kind people forget. The lawyer spoke slowly and clearly. He explained the history of the land. He showed records of sale, taxes, and past claims. Then came the key moment. The lawyer revealed the old case. Years ago, the HOA tried to claim the lake. They failed. The judge back then ruled the lake as private land. The HOA accepted the decision and moved on. But they never forgot. The room changed. The judge leaned forward. The HOA lawyer stopped smiling. The judge asked the HOA lawyer if this was true. The man hesitated. Yes, he said softly. That one word changed everything. The judge asked why this information was hidden. Why threats were used instead of truth. Why pressure was placed on a legal owner. The HOA had no good answers. The judge looked at him. You restored this land? He asked. Yes, he said. Did anyone stop you before? The judge asked. No, he answered. The judge nodded. The decision came fast. The lake belonged to him. Fully. Legally. No fines. No claims. No future action allowed. The HOA was warned. Any further pressure would bring punishment. The sound of the gavel ended it. Outside the court, the air felt lighter. His chest felt free for the first time in weeks. The HOA walked away silently. Their power was gone. He returned to the lake before sunset. The water reflected the sky like a mirror. Birds flew low and calm. Everything felt right again. He placed new signs. Clear signs. Private property. No entry without permission. This time, no one argued. Days passed. The visits stopped. The letters ended. The noise faded. The lake returned to silence. But he changed. He understood now that building something good attracts attention. Not all attention is kind. Some people only care when value appears. He installed cameras. He secured the land. Not from fear, but from wisdom. One evening, he sat near the water and watched the sun disappear. He felt peace, but also strength. The lake was saved, but more importantly, he was proven right. Truth takes time, but it always surfaces. And when it does, it speaks louder than power. The lake slowly returned to its normal rhythm. Mornings were quiet again. The water moved gently with the wind. Birds came back without fear. The place felt safe, not only because the fight was over, but because the truth had won. He kept his routine simple. He woke up early. He walked around the lake. He checked the water and the land. Every step felt lighter now. The pressure was gone. The fear no longer followed him. People stopped coming without permission. Cars no longer slowed near the road. The HOA signs were removed. It was like a bad dream that finally ended. He added small changes, careful ones. A wooden bench near the shore. A small path made of stones. Nothing loud. Nothing extra. He wanted the lake to stay natural. He wanted it to breathe. Sometimes, neighbors passed by and waved. Some even apologized. They said they did not know the full story. He nodded and moved on. He did not need words anymore. The lake spoke for him. At sunset, he often sat quietly and watched the colors change. Orange turned into gold. Gold turned into blue. The water reflected everything. It reminded him how close he came to losing it all. He thought about the first day he saw the lake. Broken. Dirty. Forgotten. No one wanted it then. No one fought for it. But now, after it was healed, many wanted control. That lesson stayed with him. Value attracts noise. Silence attracts peace. He learned that caring for something means protecting it too. Not with anger, but with clarity. Not with fear, but with truth. One evening, a child stood near the fence and looked at the lake. The child smiled. He smiled back. Some beauty should be seen, even if not owned. The lake did not belong to the HOA. It did not belong to power. It belonged to effort. And effort had a name now. He did not become rich from the lake. He did not become famous. But he gained something better. He gained proof that patience matters. That quiet strength lasts longer than loud threats. When storms came, the lake stayed calm. When winds rose, the water adjusted. He learned from it. Life works the same way. He kept the papers safe. He kept the signs clear. He kept his heart calm. The fight had changed him, but not in a bad way. It made him stronger, wiser, and more aware. Some nights, he remembered the fear, the letters, the pressure, the doubt. But those memories no longer hurt. They reminded him how far he came. The lake was silent again. But this time, it was protected. And in that silence, he found something rare. Peace that was earned. Peace that stayed. The end was not loud. It did not need to be. The lake stood still. And so did he.